Hello, everyone. Hey, Abraham, real quick, brother. The audio. I just touched the button on OBS, the one for the microphone. Is it coming good? I'm just want to make sure didn't mess it up. All right. Hello, everyone. So should be one sec. Just wanted to get the live YouTube live stream up, and I gotta make sure everything's good. 555. All right. Awesome. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Matthew. All right, hello everyone. Looks like we got a pretty full house. Usually the live streams during market hours fill up pretty good. Giovanni, hello, hello. Guarav, what's going on, brother? Good to have you, man. Good to have you. Papa Vlad, Giovanno, hello. Julio, Frank, Anita, great to have you guys. Christian, Olawale, Ahmed, surprise? Yeah, a little pleasant surprise here this morning. I figured we'll do a live stream and maybe we'll even do another one tomorrow, sailing into the weekend, but we'll see. We'll see. Had a good trading day yesterday, so no need for me to push it. So why not come hang out on the YouTube? Christian, hello, hello. Yes, sir, we are live. High speed trading. Hello, Mel. Good to have you, brother. Hey, Mel, that gold logo is looking real good next to your name, brother. Appreciate the support, my man. Hey, Abraham, can you hear me, brother? Hop on Discord so you can let me know everything's good. Check my messages. Rich, good morning. Ahmed, great to have you. Awesome. Matthew Davis, Judah Swing incoming. Yeah, that's what we're looking at, my man. Dan, hello. Grisha, good morning, good morning. Denisha, Joe, we are glad to have you guys. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. Everything should be good here on the technical side. Just want to make sure. Toby, all right, awesome. Thanks, Abraham. Matthew Davis, hey Dylan, I had a question in the Discord for 2 days. Did you answer it or elsewhere? Yeah, so I'll look to answer it today if I don't get to it, or maybe I'll just answer it in the stream for you, Matthew. But if not, I'll definitely cover that for you. I didn't see that. Appreciate you reminding me. Got a lot on my plate here, so if I miss one of your messages, just let me know. I'm not complaining because can't complain. There's a lot on your plate when your whole goal was to eat to begin with. So I got you covered there, Matthew. No worries, brother. What sim does it look like? Wednesday low of the week. That's what we're gonna find out. That's what we're gonna find out. So that's what I'm subscribing to. So we'll go ahead and get into it. We got the 9:30 open here coming in 3 minutes. So you guys know the protocol. We've got to drop that settlement on there. Put the midnight open. All key levels I like to refer to. So in the present structure, again, we're still bullish. I don't call tops in bull markets, as you guys know. So I'm treating this as a return to discount. And then the signatures around how we trade in that discount tell me something, which my private students, you guys should know what we're talking about, right? So when we got that run higher. So all those things are indicating to me this market's still bullish. So I'm going in trusting my buy models. Again, doesn't mean just at open we buy. We got to wait for something or a model or structure to price in to even constitute going long. However, I'm going to be looking for higher prices. That's my expectation for this session. Christian Cadet, my man, shout out For all the love this year, we got this. Absolutely, Christian. Looking forward to seeing where you take this, my man. New levels for you, brother. All right. All right. So go ahead. 1 second. I'm gonna get logged into one of my accounts. If we do some live executions, I can do that. It's on the TradingView you guys are gonna be watching. But yeah, Christian, really appreciate your support, my man. And like I said, brother, really excited to see where you're gonna take this, bro. All right, so right away, again, talked about how we're still higher time frame bullish. Nothing has changed my long-term perspective on the marketplace. So I am still looking for higher prices longer term, just as we called out on Sunday. So I'm looking at this as nothing more than a return to discount to continue higher. So let's drop down into the 15. So in about 5 seconds, we're about to hit the New York Stock Exchange open. And I want to monitor this 15-minute fair value gap in here. So looking at the regular trading hours gap here, I suspect the market's going to want to pull into that, right? So how we trade there is going to be something that's influential that I'm going to be monitoring moving forward. So with that off, just letting you know what that settlement's marking out. So that's that closing price on the previous day's settlement. So the market, again, typically wants to work down into that. So anyone that was long or chasing the market before open, chasing this run higher, that's typically what this function is designed to do, right? So I want to see how we trade inside this fair value gap. And the reason I was expecting it to retrace into it was just because of the timing factor, right? 9:30, market's typically going to do a false move. I think we got some type of housing numbers coming out at 10. So not that I have to wait for the housing numbers to take a setup, but just something to be mindful of. What is that? I think it's new home sales. Yeah, new home sales at 10 o'clock. All right, so we're trading into that fair value gap here. And it's like, even though I can see a run from like where we opened here, that I called it into here, that's just not a trade I'm willing to take, right? So we can see these little fluctuations, but there has to be something that constitutes why I'd be putting risk behind it and why it would even be something that's tradable, right? But this little fluctuation in here, that's not something I would consider a trade setup. Maybe for you, but not something I'm terribly interested in. So what I'm going to be monitoring is how we trade here. And what I'm going to go ahead and do also is drag over this fair value gap here. Let's go ahead and make that a light gray. So I'm going to want to see how we trade inside this key level here as well. Does it lend some support? Then all those things are going to factor into my analysis to give me what it is I'm looking for. And again, if we get below this inefficiency here, then that tells me something in and of itself. So we're 2 minutes into the opening range. So again, not in any rush to do anything. So let's go ahead and get the trading layout on here. So looking at the 5-minute chart, same thing here as the 15-minute inefficiency, just a bit refined here. So we hit the the midpoint of that fair value gap. So now I'm watching how we trade there, right? Because that's an influential level. So I want to see how the market trades at these key levels. So I want to see this low here be an intermediate term low. I don't think the market needs to come back down to that level. So because I'm already able to establish or predict that this is likely going to be some type of intermediate term low, that gives me a good reference point that I can key buying setups off of. So right now, looking at dollar's in a really nasty consolidation. So dollar's not much of a factor in my analysis for now. So we'll drop down to the 1-minute chart and get to it. All right, so hitting that constant encroachment, that midpoint level perfectly there. That's that, again, that 15-minute inefficiency. But again, right now, none of this constitutes going long. I wouldn't go long in here because it's in too much of an overextended market. So I'd want to see it pull back into just from, not that one, just range low to range high. I want to see us retrace back into some measure of discount. So that's what I'm looking for here. So we hit that 15-minute fair value gap. Anyone that had trailed stops here, they've been dragged out of the marketplace. So we have inefficiency here. Go ahead and put that on. So I want to see how we trade there. So again, I'm just probing order flow right now. Nothing constitutes me pushing a button right now, unless it was a scalp, right? Like if I wanted to take a short here into like let's say the regular trading gap. Right, so I'm seeing how we traded all these key levels. Because I am higher time frame bullish, shorts would be extremely low leverage, right? Because I'm not looking to push a lot against that weekly candlestick. And real quick, I'll just show you guys what the weekly candlestick is. We're bullish. We've been bullish since Sunday. So if I am going to take a short, my leverage is going to have to be significantly reduced. Not that I can't take it, but it's just, like I said, it's not a high conviction setup where I'm going to put a lot of risk behind. Going long, on the other hand, that would be a lot more heavy-handed, not over leveraged, but heavy-handed in terms of my max risk allocation. Wasim Dylan, did you see everyone talking BS about ICT's live stream, even though he said it's low probability? Nah, brother, I do not have time to focus on anything outside of me, bro. But in terms of, ICT's doing ICT, man. Is he trolling everybody, or did he really get stopped out? Did they run for a stop? Who knows? I don't know. But again, that's not putting any more money in my account, so it's not worthwhile me focusing on it. So it's not something I give any mind. So again, just still watching this fair value gap in here and this one here. So I'd like to see us trade a bit deeper into a discount just to this range here, and then potentially set up some type of buy setup. But for right now, there's nothing in here in the structure that would constitute me going long. So maybe ICT is just letting everyone think they've actually got some competition in the Robbins Cup. That's my best bet, but I don't know. Bro, where do you put the RTH settlement? You got to put regular trading hours, and you just put it on the close. So that's going to be, it should be 4:15. 4:15. All right. So while we're still in the opening range, I'll take a few questions, but once we get into that 10 o'clock hour, I will be dialed in. Could you take a long at the fair value gap 50% with the stop below? Paul, I mean, yeah, if that's your trading model, you can do anything, right? So, if I was a 15-minute trader, that would be my entry right there, and I have to have a stop below there. So that's what I would be trading if I was a 15-minute trader. So I'd be looking at something like going long the fair value gap, stop below, just right below 50% of that wick would be fine, and then targeting a run up those highs. I just don't like the risk reward too much on a 15-minute chart. So that's just why it's not really my strategy. But if I was a 15-minute trader, then that would absolutely be a entry for me. But again, I'm just not a 15-minute trader just because of, you guys see how enormous the risk is. So what I would do is I would just look at it like, okay, the 15-minute is where I'd be looking for a buy setup to form. So once I get that confirmation that we're bullish on a 1-minute chart inside that higher time frame 15-minute array, then I would just look to take an entry, and then my risk would be significantly reduced because it's taken on a 1-minute chart. So that's personally how I trade it. So I'm doing the same thing a higher time frame trader is doing. I'm just going one extra step and refining what I'm looking for. Nabil, Roger, thanks, brother. Absolutely. Eddie, everyone place their stop where ICT. Yeah, I could imagine there's quite a few people following what ICT's saying. And then they ran for it immediately. Yeah, that's not surprising. Julio, Dylan, your intro songs before the lives got my head bopping like I want a 10R. That's awesome, Abraham. Yeah, great job on the music, bro. It's been a hit, Abraham. Great work there, brother. So we're still in the opening range, right? We just opened here at 9:30, and then we got news at 10. So just gonna let the first 15 to 30 minutes play out. If you look at the good old ES, again, none of this structure is really inviting for high probability. So I'm okay with waiting for more information. And like I said, after yesterday's trading, I've put on a price action clinic. So there is really even no need for me to even take a trade today, which is why we're just hanging out on YouTube. Dan, how do you trade ES/NQ if it is not inversely correlated with DXY? So I taught this to my private group. So if dollar's consolidating, indices are free to do whatever it is they were already going to do. If dollar's moving opposed to indices, which is what we want to see, right? A symmetrical market, dollar higher, indices lower. But if we have them moving in tandem, that's just something that's a cause for caution. They can move in tandem. They don't. It's not like forex. It's not like currency 1-to-1. But that's something I have to monitor. So if I do see those factors, like for example, dollars rallying, indices are rallying at the same time, that would probably not be a higher leverage trade, just because I don't have all the intermarket analysis supporting that trade, and it's more likely to be high resistance. But outside of that, if dollar's just consolidating, indices are free to do whatever it is they were already going to do. It's something I like to see in dollar, but it's not something I really need to see in dollar. I'm sure there's quite a few action hounds that have already been pressing the button here right at the 9:30 open. You guys know how it is at the New York Stock Exchange open, and it's just chopping them up right now. So that's something I've seen in my studies, which is once we have that 8:30 news driver and then 10 o'clock news driver, we tend to get a consolidation in between. So this would be a day when I would typically just wait for that 10 o'clock news. And as we also see again, E-mini S&P, there's just nothing in the structure that's inviting to take a trade. Man, I was working with my associates yesterday while I was trading, and like recording my executions and whatnot. And I'm like, man, this would have been a really good day to be live on YouTube. Because usually we get on YouTube a lot of times and it gives us some crummy price action. But we'll see what it gives us today. It's still early in the session. Hello, the Unicorn Trader. How are you doing today? Doing all right. Staying out of trouble. Staying out of trouble. So having patience is huge. Looking at this setup here, I'll share with you guys some personal insight. So, early on, I could see the gap here, right? I could see there'd be a gap. I could see the market's probably going to want to run into it. And then I would just take this short, right? Because the pattern is there, right? So it took out stops, it displaced lower, market structure shift, fair value gap. But then one thing I learned over time, over experience, was that not every setup is worth taking. And as you guys see, from the moment I would have entered here, we'd still be moving sideways 11 minutes later. And that's a long time for me because I like to trade low resistance conditions, which by contrast, we'll look at yesterday's price action. These are the conditions I like to do my trading, right? When the market's running one-sided, it's just really easy to see. The market structure is clean. And like I said, we slapped the NASDAQ around pretty good yesterday. But again, this is the price action I like to focus on. And we just had a beautiful PM session yesterday. But what I'm taking your attention to is you guys can see how this is starkly different. So right away, seeing that makes me not interested until we start to clean up in the market structure. And I'm sure that'll come by way of time and the high impact news driver at 10. So, even though that is a short, it could be a short, just into a discount, not short, write it down for a home run. Why? Because we're still bullish. But even though that is a setup, over time, I just realized I wanted to pick my shots better and have better quality setups. Just because of that mental capital aspect, that especially when you start managing more accounts, more capital, you don't want to waste your time on setups like this that aren't running for you. And that's something that it takes time to train your mindset, because again, we come into this with what mindset? We want to make a lot of money, we want to chase every setup, but with experience, with having the market hand you your ass several times, you start to pick up on all these different things. And so again, this is why, can I see that likely as a short just into a lower low here? Yeah, but it's not something I'm interested in shorting, right? So just sharing some of that personal insight with you guys. Anthony, how do you choose the pair, or how do I choose the index for NASDAQ or S&P? Being that either could be more bullish or bearish. Yeah, that's a good question. So SMT is a huge factor. If you look at my live execution that I shared yesterday, where I record my trade from beginning to end, and what's funny about that, you only ever see ICT traders recording their execution from beginning to end. I've never seen any other thought process or ideology in these markets record their trade execution from beginning to end. Now that's interesting. You know why? Because if other people could do it, they would. So just something to ponder. But back to your question, Anthony. How do I know which one to choose? So it's a culmination of several different factors. One of them being market structure, of course, an experience factor, right? Seeing the market structure, the strength of institutional order flow. Which one has breakaway gaps, which one has cleaner structure to work within, and then also SMT divergence. So if you look at my like where I was going with that was, if you look at my live execution from yesterday, you notice I'm highlighting SMT each time I'm trading. So if, for example, S&P makes a lower low, NASDAQ does not, well, I'll more than likely want to opt to trade NASDAQ. So that's how I go by it. And then obviously considering, the experience factor of, what the market structure is telling me, which one's been the relative strength leader, all those things factor in to tell me which one to trade. So looking at from this fair value gap here, right, market sold off into a lower low here. So like I said, that is a setup. It's just not my setup. I'm not interested in trading that. There's just not really enough range here to even make it worth my while. So it's about 25 points. That's not something I'm really interested in taking down. I'd much rather take down bigger hauls. Carla, hello. Dan, can you please share when you expect low resistance? Yeah, so around high impact news drivers, days when the daily bias is clear, when the market structure is clean, all those different things constitute low resistance. And then especially if there's high impact news driver that day. And then just other general rule of thumb, when there's CPI, FOMC, non-farm payroll the day after, that day before is typically going to be high resistance. So all those different factors are what you'd want to consider. All right, yeah, I see your question, Matthew. Yep, I'll get that answered for you, my man. Dan, thanks, Dylan. Yeah, absolutely. So market took out a lower low here. So I'm gonna want to see how we trade there. So going into this macro window here at 950. So again, we expected the opening range to be a bit choppy, which is why again we're not chomping at the bit to get into a setup, right? So I want to see how we take out that low. You know, do we sweep it like this, then aggressively displace higher? That's what I'm going to be monitoring here. And then what is that level there? Take that off. And then again, we were discussing how I'd want to work down into that regular trading hours gap. So if you do ultimately go higher on the day, which is what I'm subscribing to right now, but again, you guys can see just because I expect it to go higher, it doesn't constitute, you know, jumping into a trade. But this function in price here, when we see this gap higher, people want to chase that, right? And then they make a higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high. So 6 times they're making higher highs. What's that doing is getting breakout traders into the market, long, 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 and then they stop them out at what time? 9:30 when we're expecting a fake move. So that's what I look at this function in price here. So that's why whenever we hit 9:30 open, I'm expecting the market to want to pull down into that gap. Wanted to see if it could reach down into the midpoint. If I was short from here, if that was my setup, I would have been reaching for just that midpoint as like a low-hanging fruit target. So one thing to note, we see S&P did not take out this low here, so we got a bit of S&T divergence there. NASDAQ did sweep that low, and now it's trading higher. Investaholic, 30-second delay. Only me, I think the other day was better. I'm not sure. I can't really see that here from my end, but is the delay worse than normal? Eric, what is your preferred SMT time frame? All of them. All of them. All right, so we got some news coming in here at 8 minutes. 15 seconds here, it's normal. All right, thanks, Christopher. I'm at just 10 seconds here. It's cool. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Delay on YouTube is normal. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Abraham. Appreciate it, brother. Can you explain turtle soup entries, Jason? Yeah, let's see if we can go ahead and get a turtle soup today. Look, call it live for you guys. So turtle soup's just a fake run below an old low, right? So if we're bullish, we're looking for higher prices, and we take out sell stops at a key level where we'd expect the market to trade up from. That's simply put a turtle soup. Yeah, everything said it says it's good here with my connections. Everything should be good. All right, so ES is showing a lot more strength on the upside. Looking at that on my other monitor. See how it's trading higher with nicer inefficiency, bit cleaner structure than we see here across the NASDAQ right now. So that's something I'm monitoring. All right, guys. So we're getting into the 10 o'clock window here, so I'm not going to be monitoring the chat as much, but I'll look to maybe take some questions after if I get some time. But if not, I got to get to work here with my private group and work on PowerPoints, my favorite. So probably going to make a run below that low, but again, nothing of interest really until we get to that news, just because the market structure, nothing here is really of interest to me. And Dow's ripping. Oh, Dow. Yeah, so that's probably why we're seeing lift on the E-mini S&P as well, because we got Dow rallying. All right, so looking at the stock heat map, so we got a pretty symmetrical market for the most part. So we got this again news coming out in 5 minutes, so we'll see what the market gives us there. That's personally what I'm going to be waiting for. A 176, nice. Got a full house here on the AM session live stream. So again, looking at the gap here. So I'm just showing you guys. Normally I'd have this level written down. Remember what I told you guys, you know, if I was going to take a short from here, the profit target would just be that midpoint right there. So just as a study, bring it on home. Come on. Come on. What I need is my iPad. So yeah, just studying a run to midpoint. The reason I'd use the midpoint as like a low-hanging fruit target, not like all the way down here, is because again, we're still higher time frame bullish, right? So this isn't anything that would constitute, you know, me being like long-term bearish or anything like that. So trading into that fair value gap. So I want to see if there's more willingness to want to sell off there. We'll just look at the dollar real quick. So yeah, dollar's been sideways for the most part. So we studied on the first live stream the run above that high. Remember what I told you guys, if you're going to run to this high here and keep pressing higher, the market would have to trade decisively through that, right? Aggressively keep rallying and show it wants to keep rallying. But instead it ended up pulling back into the range, and now we're just stuck in another consolidation. So typical January trading. And then let's take a look at GBP USD. So pound is still sideways. So again, we have not been calling this market at all. We've been, well, I mean, we have been calling it. We've been calling it sideways, but I have been calling targets for you guys. And there's a specific reason why. And then euro just abysmal. So that's what we're looking at on the currency front. So usually I refer to dollar intraday. I do have it on one of my monitors here, so I am looking at it, but there's just nothing here in this market structure that's high probability. We're just working both sides of the range, taking out short-term highs, short-term lows, short-term highs, short-term lows, and it's a abysmal market condition. So nothing much here on dollar to help us out. All right, so the news just hit about 5 seconds ago, so we'll see. It's just a medium impact news driver, so nothing crazy, but I expect the markets to at least loosen up a little bit. So 15-minute, we've dropped down into the last down close. So that's a bullish order block. So right there, hitting that last down close there. So from the high to the opening price, that's the level I'd be looking for sensitivity. So I'm studying the reaction off that, right? So because I've tipped my hand to you guys know I'm bullish. Now this is what I'd wait to set up some type of bullish structure. But if there's no confirmation, there's no setup. So I'd be interested to see is, do we show willingness to rally or get bullishness from these discount key levels? The fact that we close down below that midpoint is something I'd want to see, but we can live with it. So again, considering we're still in that regular trading hours gap, we've just been in the sloppy consolidation since we opened. So until we get some type of displacement out of this range, I'm not going to be interested in touching it. So one of the signatures that I like to see is with the opening range gap, how it's really having a difficult time working down into it. So that's a signature that tells me that the market isn't very bearish, simply because we're seeing really an unwillingness to want to trade below these levels aggressively. So that's what I'm watching. I'm still watching that midpoint there. So I want to see how we trade at that level. Do we use that level of support, or do we break down through it? All those things are what I'm going to be monitoring moving forward. Ghost in the machine, bro. I'm too much impatient. I think we all start that way, brother. I think we all start that way. And I guess some people just have to lose more money than others to learn that lesson, unfortunately. But again, like I always say, if this was easy, wouldn't everyone just be printing money off the Forex lottery from their couch? Well, there you go, right? It's probably gonna take some effort, probably gonna take some discipline, some hard work. So there you go. That's to be expected. So trading lower now, taking out that short-term low there, and then finally hitting that that midpoint we've been looking for here. So hit that midpoint. So I'll be interested to see how we trade there. Do we just melt through that? Do we start to get some type of support come in there? Just going to be monitoring these specific data points. Christian Cadet, clean as always, brother. Just love it. Elevation. Absolutely. All right, so I'm going to take that level off. You guys already know what level we're looking at. Usually I'd have that written down here next to me to refer to, just because I like to keep the charts clean. Just minimal levels, just what I'm looking at, like on a key daily, hourly 15-minute chart, have those key levels. A lot of them I just write down, just have a clean chart. So this 15-minute fair value gap that I have here in blue, seeing that we close with the body below that midpoint, that's not as bullish as I was expecting, but the fact that we're still closing above it and the bodies are staying within it, it still could be used as a reason to expect higher prices. So still waiting. I'm looking at this again as like a fake drop before the true move higher. But again, for that true move higher to manifest, we need what? We need some type of market structure, displacement to, again, constitute why we'd even be looking for higher prices, right? So they've taken the market down into a discount. And now I want to see, do we aggressively rip through this intermediate term high? And if we do that with displacement and an inefficiency, then that would constitute a buy model for me. But again, I need to see those specific signatures in price, because if those conditions aren't there, then I won't be looking to take on any risk today. So another thing I'm monitoring is that S&P did not make a lower low here. Again, S&P's just been in that consolidation, but it did not make a lower low here, whereas the NQ did. See, so that's the nice thing about knowing what you're waiting for, right? So I'm not here just impulsively chasing fair value gap candles and shit, right? You got to know what you're waiting for, why you're waiting for it, and that's how you get professional. That's how you leave the world of being a gambler in this to becoming a professional, is knowing what you're waiting for, having the discipline to wait for it, and if it doesn't form, there's nothing to do, right? And I'm fine saying that. But looking at the hourly chart here for NQ, so I favor this hourly candle expanding higher. So I see that as we trade down into a down close for and continue that bullish institutional order flow, I want to see the market rally from here, and I want to see this up close candle, or not up close candle, I want to see this become a bullish, bold up close candle. So what that's going to look like on a 1-minute chart is trading into a discount, taking off stops, and I want to see a displacement through this high. And then that would allow me to trust that we're going higher. But until we get that signature, there's nothing for me to do. But as we start doing more live streams here going into February, going into the spring months, we'll definitely get much more cleaner, easy to read price action. So I'm very much looking forward to that. All right, so 5-minute chart, we have this up close candle here. I'd like to see us close above that. We close above that, this market is likely going higher. So this would be like a return to discount to continue repricing higher. Because remember, where do we always start at? From the higher time frame. So we're expecting what? The draw is here. Like the magnet on price action is right here. That's what I'm focused on. So when I'm in my lower time frames, I'm not just like a dog chasing cars up and down. I know what I'm waiting for and why I'm waiting for it. So let's drop into a 30-second chart here, and we'll go ahead and look to buy that. So let's go ahead at 3 contracts. And then we'll just roll a stop down here. So stop goes down here, just below the breaker. So got in 3 contracts. I'd like to see if I can pyramid this and pyramid it bigger, but right away we'll have a partial above this high here. And then for my students that are in here, you guys are watching price action model number 1. It's not on a 1-minute chart. The structure's on a 1-minute chart, but the entry occurred on a 30-second chart. Ooh, learning something new today. All right, so I'm gonna look for a run above this high here, and then how we trade there is going to be influential, right? So I want to see this market keep ripping higher. So this fair value gap here, that was a means of shorting earlier. I want to see us get above it, use it as support, and like a launch pad higher. It would have been nice to trade lower, offer me another entry so I can build this in a little bit bigger, but I'll work with what the market's given me. And then just a 20-point stop on that. So I'll go ahead and take that fair value gap as it's trading into that. I'll buy that once more. Thank you very much. Trade, so put a stop here. So let's go back up to that 1-minute chart. So you see, when I want to get aggressive about an entry, as we drop into that 15-second fair value gap, I'm buying. And at the same time, we're inside that inversion gap right there. So I would expect the market to continue rallying here from these levels, and I want to see us aggressively rip above that buy side. So we'll put 2 sell limits up here, pay the trader above the intraday high. All right, so again, let me go ahead and label that. IFVG. So I want to see this be an inversion. Then we'll take off this 15-minute fair value gap just to clean that up for you guys. But you guys remember what we were looking at here, which was this 15-minute fair value gap blending some type of support, right? So we see the bodies respecting that. So all those factors come together to allow me to trust what it is I'm looking for. Trust is in its high probability, not as in it's 100%, right? Because nothing's 100%. It's just high probability. So here we have a breaker here. So these 3 up close candles, we should not get down below that now. So let me go ahead and highlight what those price levels are to you. So from this candle's low to this candle's high here. Let's go ahead and make that blue. So that's our bullish breaker. So I want to see the market support in here. I don't want to see it get through that. So I'm going to look for NQ to catch up with the E-mini S&P. ES is already off to the races, and I qualified this SMT to you guys real time. And then I just opt to trade NASDAQ because I prefer to trade NASDAQ over S&P. All right, so because of where we're at, right, because I painted the picture that this was a return to discount. We looked at this price run here under the context of what a Judas swing, like a fake move, right, ahead of the true move. So that's what I'm trading in mind with here, that this is a fake move lower to set up the rally higher. We got a small little fair value gap there, so I want to see the market stay above that. And I want to see the market go off to the races now. So first entry was in here. So what did we say? We take something off here at the internal highs here at 20 handles. 15 second. Yeah, what was the first entry in here? So, yeah, it could be 20 points. So 20 points will pay the trader here, right above this internal high. So that 1 minute fair value gap, if you're a 1 minute trader, that would be like your silver bullet right there. So that's what I'm looking at that. That's why I added, when we were at that price level, I added one more position there. So 15 second, drop down to that fair value gap, institutional order flow entry drill. I want to see the market run aggressively for the sell limit right here to take me out. So just 4 more points. And then from that high, it should just run higher and eviscerate this high here. That's what I want to see. Let's go back up to that 1 minute chart. And then again, just that internal high there is my first take profit. And then we got another TP here at the external. And we'll let the contracts run. We'll see how much juice in the tank this dog has today. So we have a fair value gap here. It can trade down into that. That's not a problem. But I'd want to see this act as support now. So there's our bullish fair value gap. And then down close, so I'd look at that as a bullish order block. So trading into that fair value gap, finding support there, and then this last down close, hitting that opening price, qualifying the bullish order block to you guys with a fair value gap. So market should run into that limit order now from these specific levels here. Gaurav, I just happened to see this funny comment. That's funny. Dylan, you need to get some bodyguards now. I don't need it, brother. I'm strapped up to the gills, brother. Man, I feel bad for the person that tries to come to this house. All right, so tagging that fair value gap again. So we have a new 15-minute candle open. So whenever we have a new candle opening, I have to allow for some measure of manipulation or moving against my position. So that's another timing element that helps me understand these retracements here and not freak out when they're happening, because I can just see that, okay, if new 15-minute candle is opening, if it's going to expand higher, what's it probably going to do first? Create a wick on the downside. So that's what I'm looking at there. All right, so I don't like how ES is taking out that high anemically and NASDAQ's unwilling to. So I need to see speed here soon on the upside. But again, as long as we remain above that down close, I think everything is still primed for higher prices. So you see the body still staying above that fair value gap. So I see this as they're trying to really sell the idea of like resistance here, right? So resistance, resistance, the double top. So now I just want to see again the market just incinerate these highs here. Alrighty, there we go. So first limit order tagged. Isn't this fun? It's almost like it's scripted, huh? All right, so again, took out that high. So now I want to see the market aggressively run through that high here. So we got some executions on here. Now we bumped the party up to 200 people. Lovely. So we got that intraday high here. There's a lot of buy side liquidity here. I'll go ahead and label that for you. So buy side liquidity. There's waiting buyers there to buy my position, or for me to sell my position to that I accumulated down here. Isn't that neat? I think so. All right, so rallying from the fair value gap, bullish order block, timing the buying pressure perfectly, right? Hey, I gotta have some fun while I'm on YouTube, right? All right, so inversion, fair value gap here. This fair value gap qualified you guys while we were below it that we were gonna do what? Get above it. So that's narrative. That's how you know when to use an inversion aspect to a PD array or trust it to actually sell off, right? So yeah, I want to see the market run up into the high and run aggressively for the stops that are resting above that. Then let me go ahead and run some standard deviations for some more internal price targets. So I like this -1.5. We'll just put that right there. So I don't want to see it trade through this high anemically. I just want to see it break through the door like the SWAT team and just keep on rolling, because that's going to give me, all right, there we go. That's nice. Tag that limit order on the upside. So let's go ahead and put one here at the middle of -2, -2.5, and we'll let this baby run. So let me put on a stop with 2 contracts. So now we'll roll the stop here to a bit better than break even. So we'll lock in some profit. So using just some fib projections here to line up, but again, we're still looking for the external draw here, as I covered, right? So it's higher time frame, lower time frame. So what's an A+ setup? An A+ setup is a setup that has confluences across all different time frames. So there we got that internal buy side. I covered this hourly candle to you guys right when we were near the open. What was the expectation for this hourly candle? Bullish, higher prices. So how easy does that make my trading when all I got to do is drop down into a lower time frame and buy a fair value gap? Pretty simple to me. So we got ES still working its way higher. So I want to see again ES make a run for its respective buy side here. And then again, qualifying the fair value gap, bullish order block here in real time. Carla, my target hit, and definitely taking notes. Awesome analysis, Sensei. Thank you very much, Carla. And I definitely see your growth in the private mentorship, so I'm really excited for that. So again, I want to see this market keep reaching higher. I don't want to see it trade above this high anemically and pull back into the range. If it does and then rolls on the stop, that's fine, right? We've already secured the bag here, so that wouldn't phase me. But just for the sake of my analysis, I want to see us rip through that high and then keep working our way up to this high here. So I'll have one partial inside that bearish order block. So something new I'll teach you guys here as well. Order blocks are not just used for entries. So you guys see this is an up close candle, bearish order block. We can hit that and sell off, right? That's how you guys understand typical order block theory. But I'm also using it for targets. So if I'm bullish and I want to see us trade higher and I want to see us get above that high, well, what's a level that makes sense to bank a partial off at? Well, bearish order block, because that's where the institutions, the market makers, are doing their selling. So by understanding how to think like a market maker, I'm doing what? I'm accumulating discount and I'm distributing premium. Very, very simple, straightforward logic there. All right, so dropping down into another fair value gap here. So let's go ahead and keep calling this for you guys. So we have inefficiency here. Sending that through. So I want to see the market find support there. And then this inversion fair value gap here should not even be traded down through the midpoint. So actually, I'll just roll my stop here. So right below consequent encroachment of that wick here. So we have the fair value gap here, fair value gap here, here, order block, and wick. So there's a lot of PD arrays in between my stop and where market price is at. So I'm not fearful to stop getting hit. And if it does hit it, that's why partials pay every time. So get everything good here. So looking at dollar's not giving me much help. So watching this fair value gap again, we'd want to see what support there. So I hope the market makers don't come and reach for my stop because we have 200 people on the stream. I'm just joshing with you, ICT. I'm just joshing with you. I love you, brother. Oh my goodness. All right, so S&P is trading into its respective 1 minute fair value gap. So again, we should see some lift come in here now. Kristen, thank you very much, brother. Appreciate your continuous support, my man. Thank you very much. Ooh, and the other cool thing I wanted to come back to after I was managing my trade. So remember this 15-minute candle here when we were here at the open and the market was trading lower and it was like a black candle. I was just telling you guys, rest assured. Why? Because the time tells me it's okay for it to retrace a little bit. So you know when Gerald, LOL, don't do our boy like that. No, I'm not doing it. It's all respect. It's all love with ICT. I gotta have some fun too, right? So this 15-minute candle, we were looking for it to do what? Expand higher. So in ICT's teaching that you can scalp every hourly and 15-minute candle, this is what he's explaining here, right? So if we had the forward visibility to see what? This 15-minute candle, that we were not calling this lower, right? It was very clear we're looking for S&P or NASDAQ to do what? Higher prices. So just this 15-minute candle from here to here, that's a scalp. That could be someone's entire model right there. Or just doing that on a higher time frame version on an hourly chart, right? We were bullish, so we trade down to a down close candle. So that's a means of what? Me wanting to do what? Be a buyer. So if I can see that, I wanted confirmation on a 1 minute displacement higher. So that's what I was waiting for. But if you can see this candle's going to expand higher, well, then all you have to do is get an entry. And then you can just scalp that 1 hour range that's about to manifest. TCTP, great call today. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, but it's not just a today type of thing, brother. This is business as usual, brother. Denisha, great stream, taking notes and demoing. All your teachings are coming out today. I hope so. I hope so. I was trying to highlight a lot of the points that I've been teaching you guys in the private mentorship, and man, it just works like gangbusters, just like I'm teaching it, right? So that's really good. I'm glad you guys are getting that experience, and I know you guys seeing me use these tools real time is really helpful for you guys as well. So that's awesome. So body's still respecting that fair value gap. That's nice to see. Now I just want to see again the market rip higher. Yeah, so I'll do my best to get to the chat once we're done here. Let's go ahead and bank one more partial here, and then we'll just let one run, and we'll casually hang out on the YouTube and watch the rest of this morning session. All right, so on a new higher high here, on one of my other accounts, I'm working on one of my other screens. I'm banking a partial there, right? Just because we're making another higher high in a premium after taking out the external high here. So just running down equity, paying the trader. On this one, I'm going to let this one run a little bit. So I'll let this one snag that limit order here. And then I'll let that last one run till maybe the last hour of the day. We'll see. Not that I'll be on here with you guys till the last hour of the day, but I might just let this contract run and just leave this stop somewhere down here comfortable. All right, so we got about 15 more points higher to get to that. Yeah. So isn't it just neat how, you know, all these turning points just kind of happen? I think so. Francisco, hey brother, thanks to you, my trading has improved. Greetings from Colombia. Greetings, Francisco. Matthew, love how we see the same stuff. There you go, Matthew. There you go, brother. That means something must be working, huh? So something must be clicking for you, Matthew. Glad to see that. So what I don't like to see here, the reason I bagged another partial there is because looking at dollar's trading higher. Again, not that I can't go long indices, right? Like I haven't been fearful of buying NASDAQ, but just seeing dollar rallying puts caution. It puts caution on me wanting to hold a heavy-handed long. So what I look to do then is just distribute further. So on that other account that I told you guys I'm managing on one of my other monitors, go to NQ. That's why I bagged a partial here. So just teaching you guys a little bit about trade management. That's why as we took out this high here, I'm just peeling off another contract, just running down new equity above a high, just so I can lock in some more profit there. But again, nothing's changed. I'm still looking at higher prices, but just giving you guys my internal dialogue, right? Of, you know, what I'm seeing, how am I weighing all these things out in my analysis and my trading. So that's what I'm giving you guys there. But if we look at the 5-minute chart here, right, we've just had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive up close candles, right? So it's reasonable for the market to want to do some measure of retracement. So that's why I'm not freaking out every time we print a down close candle. And then again, all we're doing is trading into here. So this last up close, that is our bullish breaker. All right, this is a lot. I'm gonna take this inversion fair value gap off, but just want to let you guys know, in case you just got here or you didn't see that, what did we say this inversion was gonna do? Or I mean, it's implied in the name, right? Inversion is gonna be support. Look at that touch right there, and then another leg higher. Isn't that beautiful? All right, so let me go ahead and take that level off. Just had to make that point there. So that's our breaker here. So I wouldn't want to see us get below that. That's why my stop's right down here. So we can trade below a short-term low, take out the stops, because if we're still going to be bullish, I'm going to look for that to be a turtle soup. But it might just cruise down into my stop because, again, what I shared with you guys on dollar, which is why on another account, I told you guys I'm aggressively doing what? Taking partials, because it's not overwhelmingly in my favor anymore, which is when I like to be doing my trading. So these 3 consecutive down close candles, that bullish order block, that's the last line in the sand for me to be bullish. And that's why I have this stop here in profit. So if it takes me out here, that's just going to wrap up my day. And I'm going to go ahead and get going. That's why you can't also suffocate the stop, because this is permissible. So if you look on a like 15-minute chart, right? All we did was open a new 15-minute candle, and now we're just trading lower into these two down close. And if we refine that on a 5-minute, all we're doing is trading into this 5-minute fair value gap. So nothing's fundamentally changed from a technical analysis standpoint. All we're doing is retracing after reaching key liquidity, which is logical. And again, that's why my stop has to stay down here. So if it takes me out here, that's fine. Trader's already been paid. All right, guys. So there it is. Just to show the executions here. And then one of the things that I wanted to make sure I did is qualify that real time, right? So we don't always need the home run to pay the trader, right? So, and I told you guys as we were making that high real time, what am I doing across my other accounts? I'm bagging another partial, right? Because again, best case target is, we'll look at the 1-minute chart. Best case target is up here, but do I need that to get paid? Absolutely not. I can do a weekly salary and still get stopped out, right? So that's just about good trade management. So looking at the executions here, so bought, pyramided, partial, and then stopped on the balance here in profit. So that's what that's the business for today. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here. We'll watch what this is doing. But again, real time, taking your guys' attention to dollar rallying. And like I said, it wasn't a cause for anxiety or panic, but it's just not as conducive to high probability long setups in the indices, right? So I qualified that to you guys real time. And then I even gave you guys the extra gold nugget of telling you how I'm managing my trade as a result, and how when we trade above that high, I'm banking another partial as a result. And then, so yeah, I took this trade across several accounts. So we are sitting pretty today. So that's going to be it for today. I'm happy with that. It's beautiful weather out here in Florida. So I'm going to go ahead and enjoy my day. Anita, hit that like button, everyone. We all want more of these, right? Appreciate that, Anita. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. If you guys want me to do this more often, it's definitely an inspiration for you guys to hit that like button. And then the other thing here I'll share with you guys. Here. So you see NASDAQ made a higher high here. ES was not making a higher high. So I'm watching that on my other monitor, and that was another sign as to why the market would want to reverse. And then it took me out at a stop right here. Again, that was well in profit from all my entries. All my pyramid entries were banked in profit and then stop out in profit. So all right, so I'll go ahead and check out some comments right now. Hold on, I'm getting a fruit delivery. 1 second. Got some fresh organic blueberries. You guys probably don't want to listen to me eat that. Gaurav, thanks, Dylan. Awesome work. I can buy a new car tomorrow morning. There you go. There you go. That's how you know we had a successful stream. My man Gaurav's buying a new car. There we go. All right. So I'll go ahead and take a look at your guys' comments. I know quite a few were building up. Jonathan, what leg would standard deviation targets? I believe I answered that question. I think I showed you guys what it was I was doing there. So use this one here. So above that high, use -1.5 right there. And then that's why I'm banking a partial right there at 728. You guys see 728 here. And then 728 right there. So that's what I used there. And I had another one up here inside that order block, and it ended up not giving it to me. So right now, gun to my head, not that this would be a trade I'm taking, because I don't really want to be a short seller. But if I was still trading or I didn't get any type of setup, I'd probably be looking to sell short that fair value gap and then to run into the remaining of the regular trading hours gap. Not a signal, not anything I'm putting risk behind, but gun to my head type situation. That's what I'm looking at. So whenever I get stopped out, if I get stopped out of a trade, I don't piss and moan that, oh, the markets took me out, you know, whatever. It's just I was off sides. Now the market's giving me new information to work with, right? So I'll just get back in and adapt to what the market's telling me. So a stop out isn't anything for me to piss and moan about. It's just more information that unfortunately sometimes I have to pay a premium for that information. 1 mini up 15 handles, absolutely. Guarav, I am buying signals. Yeah, well, this is just a free trial. I'm not gonna be doing any teaching in signals, but I will be covering just these things here, right? Getting in validation point, take profit, take profit, take profit, live trade management. This is basically a free trial of the signal service. What do you know? I'm doing it for free on YouTube. Ghost in the Machine, you are the best. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining us. Glad to have you. Goroff, legendary stuff. Thanks, brother. Anthony, is there a reason why I didn't trade S&P? I just don't really prefer to trade S&P as much, just because it's really sloppy. I'd much rather trade something cleaner like the NASDAQ. Will you stream daily? No. I will not be streaming daily. In front of my private clients, yes, but not on YouTube. Not a big YouTuber guy. Not that I don't like hanging out with you guys, but YouTube is not the focus of my business endeavors. YouTube's a good tool. I like it, but it's nothing I'm going to be on here every day. Ghost in the Machine, do you only trade Silver Bullet? No. I like to trade Silver Bullet, but it's not something I'm limited to. Wasim, you're insane for real. Appreciate it. Anders, it's all hindsight. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, this is all hindsight. Man, I wonder where some of these clowns crawl out of, man. I have no idea. Dylan, I don't know how to take partials on my MT5. You need a tutorial. Oh my goodness, bro. Get off MT5, brother. Come to futures, Julio. Every professional eventually has to get into futures, my man. Med 60 points bag. I'm holding the runner. Amazing as always. Good job, Ahmed. Great job there, bro. Ragged Fury. So just use sub 1 minute time frames. Excuse me, guys. I'm eating my blackberries. That's not very professional. It's for you guys. Yeah, so I'll use sub 1 minute time frames if I don't get an entry, right? So looking at this entry here, what am I entering on here? So what I used was a 15-second. So this candle's dropping, I'm buying here. Yeah, no, I think I actually used a 30-second for this one, right? Yeah, 30-second. That's what I was using. So as we're trading down to that fair value gap, down close candle, bullish order block, I'm buying there. The reason being was because the inefficiency just didn't form on a 1 minute chart. So it doesn't form on a 1 minute chart, and I'll just have to get in on a second's time frame, right? Like I said, I don't have any fear of missing a move. As long as I know where it's going, I'm in that. Yeah, absolutely, Christian. Being patient is absolutely a part of the game. Tanya, I missed it watching it late, so traded sim. There you go. Mohammed, man, market execution analysis like a charm. Thanks, Dylan. Yeah, appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. Rich Curry finally live demo and expansion instead of consolidation. Yeah, exactly. So, you guys actually did see me get stopped out once, I believe, in the crummy price action we were seeing on Tuesday. Let me go ahead and make my way on over to that price action here. So this was abysmal price action, and that's why your risk management keeps you in the game, right? So I think we took one stop here on this fair value gap. It rolled over and stopped me out. That's fine. We did what? We stopped trading the rest of the day. And then what do? We come back here the next day and just clean up, right? So as long as you keep those losing days small, there's never a problem making it back. It's just not digging yourself into a deeper hole when you do take the stop loss. And that's something that I struggled with a lot early on, especially as a younger man, just not knowing what I know today. You know, for me to be successful in trading, for me to be a successful trader, I had to completely reinvent myself. I could not be the same person I was before I was a trader and be successful in this, right? The mindset we have, the way we're trained to look at the world, the way we're indoctrinated to see things is not conducive to trading. So if you want to be successful in this, you have to completely reinvent your entire mindset, your entire perspective, and you really got to become a different breed. Wasim, we can see your hard work in action. You're crazy, Dylan. Nothing but respect. Appreciate that respect, brother. Mohammed, I have learned. Adora Goat, I have learned and earned a lot, brother. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best. Absolutely, Mohammed. Glad it's been a fruitful live stream for you, brother. Sergio, the market makers called you. No, I had to get a fruit delivery. My stomach's starting to growl at me. Beautiful stuff. Thanks, Ahmed. Christopher, great energy today. Love it. Absolutely. Grisha, you said you're treating the 1005 low as a turtle soup, but which lows would be taken out for it to be considered a turtle soup? 1005 low. Was I saying, Grisha, I'm not following you. Were you saying that this here was a turtle soup? Did I call that live? I don't know. I don't recall that. Wow, there's a lot of comments. There's a lot for me to even go through. Wow. Banked 0.25%. Nice. Not gonna butcher your name. No, Srihari. Signals announcement. We are beginning signals January 25th, February 6th. So second week of February, we'll open up enrollment a week before that. So stay tuned for the signals announcement. Matthew Davis, Dylan, I full ported a day early. Full port Thursday. Yeah, here we are, brother. Full port Thursday. You can teach those Baylor boys something about full port Thursday here with Dora Trading. Rich Curry, great insight today, Professor. Very appreciated. Absolutely, Rich. Hey, Rich, I locked in the reservation for 8 o'clock, brother. So we'll be in touch about that later after we get done with private training. But I'll send a text to you just in case you're here. While I'm thinking about it, got so much on my mind, brother. I wanted to just remind you there. Momentum Trainer, going to buy my yacht today. Thanks, Dylan. Yeah, great to hear from you, Tyler. Hope you're doing good, brother. Hope you're enjoying the trip with the family, brother. Matthew Davis, thanks, Dylan. I just ordered my new Lambo online. Awesome, man. New cars, Lambos, yachts, and the Dora Trading team is eating today, huh? Thumbed up. Signal service will be live trading. Yeah, well, I couldn't imagine what else it would be. So something like that. Yeah. Dan, is this how signals work? You trade live with us? Absolutely. Yeah. So we're going to be live in front of you every step of the way. Not teaching, not even half of what I say here. I'm just telling you guys what I'm looking for. So this would be an entry here, take profit here, invalidation level here. That's all signals is going to be. I'm not going to be doing any teaching. Just because I'm going to be dialed in. Here, I do a little more teaching with you guys on YouTube just so I can, you guys can see the prognostication. You guys can see the skill set behind what it is I'm doing. Just so you guys can take a little peek behind the curtains and see what's going on. Eric, great stuff. Thanks for joining, man. High-speed trading, futures only way to trade. Absolutely. Yeah, futures is definitely superior, especially once... if you have access to it. I know that's the issue with a lot of, I think, foreign folks here is that, yeah, I don't think you guys can easily access the futures market. Ghost in the machine, for me, futures is expensive. Well, that's what's cool about prop firms now. And speaking of prop firms, we do have a Top Step affiliate link. So if you guys do want to begin trading futures through a prop firm, we got you covered here as well. And they're solid, best of the best in the futures industry, in my opinion. So if, funding your own futures account, that could definitely be a pretty good investment. So if you don't have that, that's the nice thing about prop firms. All you need is a skill set now. So if you focus on learning the skill set, the money just pours in. It's not rocket science. You just got to learn how to trade, right? And then once you actually learn how to trade, the money comes easy. But again, everyone always has the whole trading thing ass backwards, and I did too, right? We come in trying to make a lot of money before actually doing what? Learning how to actually trade, right? It's almost asinine, but I think that's how we all come into it. So, Benjamin, I look forward to your signal service. Great work. Appreciate it. Eric, are you doing mentorship next year too? So I do not believe I will be doing another mentorship. I think this is going to be the last one I'm doing, and just focused on other aspects of business. So I think the ship's sailing off for mentorship, but we may have something coming up for those of you guys that want education in the future that we may be offering that might be of interest to you guys. But I gotta keep the cards close to my vest on that one, but we will update you guys as I get more clarity. So those of you guys that unfortunately missed the boat on mentorship, I told you guys, the boat's taking off January, guys. So we let you guys know ahead of time. But for those of you guys that missed the boat on that, you guys might have a saving grace, and I'll let you guys know about that sometime soon. Demetria, awesome live, brother. When do you anticipate retracement in the dealing range? When not due, sometimes it does not reach equilibrium. Yeah, that's a good question, Demetria. And while I wish I could cover that, we'd be here for an hour, brother, explaining that. So it's really a mix of understanding time, strength of order flow, market structure. All those things tell me whether or not we retrace the discount or not. And then we looked at this like the Judas swing, retracement, the discount, accumulating inside the fit. Man, it was actually a pretty nice session that I'm thinking back on. Abraham, wow, some good clips from this one, brother. Called the 15-minute bullish order block here, real time for you guys, right? Told you guys want to see how we trade there. And then we were waiting for something very specific. What was that? Displacement, right? And then I actually taught my private students a price action model, and they got to see me work it live, right? So what do we see here? Intermediate term high, taken out, inefficiency, bam. Drawing liquidity, internal, bank the rest at external. Trader's been paid. There you go. Just curious, why did you want to start mentorship? Popular demand, and figured I would give the people what they want, and change some lives. So that's was my motivation behind starting education. Olawale, thanks for the great lessons today. PhD clinic over live price action. Appreciate it, Olawale. Yeah, so we got our PhD session tonight at 5:30, brother. So I'll see you there, my man. Jonathan, can you mute everyone from chatting, talking, asking questions when doing signals? Yeah, so when I'm doing signals, that'll be in Discord. And I don't even look at that. Just like when I'm trading here, I don't even have the chat on. So absolutely, yeah. There's no distractions when I'm dialed into price action. I'm dialed in. I'm not messing around. So Guarav, plenty of options to trade futures. Absolutely. Yeah, guys. I appreciate all your suggestions on how to run my signal service, but trust me, I know what I'm doing. I am not going to be fucking around with the live chat on signals, guys. Thank you very much, though. I appreciate the suggestion. Yeah, definitely. We will be rolling with signals moving forward in February. Julio, I want to get fish myself and be with Dylan without knowing, but the signals would help. Yeah, it all depends on what you guys want. You know what I mean? For those of you guys that are in my private mentorship, obviously I recommend you guys not even do signals. Why? Because you guys want to be independent traders. But I understand that this skill set is not realistic for everybody. We all have different mental difficulties, different, personal baggage difficulties that we have to deal with, and trading's just not possible for everybody. And for a lot of people, it's just what country you're from, or you work, or you have a business, and you're just not realistic for you to actually learn the skill set. That's who signals would be helpful for, having that consistency there. And again, it's consistency, not 100%, right? You guys saw me take a loss. Then you guys saw me make it back today. So if we just did that every week, 1 for 1, man, if you're doing that every week and you apply good money management to that, that's wealth building right there. And you don't need much to do that. You just need compound interest and time to do the heavy lifting. Demetrio, thanks for the answer, and I know what to study more. Definitely, yeah. So wanted to give you a little insight. So like you said, you could dig into your charts and get the answer. And there you go, brother. Alrighty, guys. So chop fest here. So we got in, picked our shots, passed up the short here, surgical strike into the buy side. A little bit of a price action clinic here, and then that's going to wrap up my day. And now we're just going into a little bit of a gnarly consolidation, which is to be expected because as we discussed with the dollar, when dollar's pressing higher and indexes are underlyingly bullish at the same time, that's naturally going to make for more difficult trading in the indices. Will we eventually start grinding higher and eventually get there? Yeah, but like I told you guys before, I don't really like price action like this. I like clean price legs that are just one-sided, easy to see. And like I told you guys, gun to my head, if I had to tell you where we were going, my best bet would be working into this regular trading hours gap. But then you guys can see, just look at the delivery, right? Fair value gap trades all the way up to the high end, and it's just really sloppy. But that's what I'm looking at moving forward, but nothing to take a trade on, right? So again, teaching private mentorship, also discipline as well. So, once you secure the bag, and I'm doing this across several accounts. So you guys can see why it's not a necessity for me to open myself back up to risk again. There's just no need to. You secure the bag. I'm about to go enjoy my day and then get to work here with the private group. Alrighty, guys. So give the stream a like if you found this insightful, or if you found a little value in here today. Give the stream a like. Doesn't cost you anything and helps your brother out here greatly. So with that, that's going to be it for today. I'm trying to think what else I had to cover. And yeah, nothing much more. Just take a look at the we'll take a look at the S&P. So S&P sideways. This is why I just don't like S&P. When the market structures like this, I like S&P to trade. I started on S&P because it was slower. NASDAQ was too fast for me when I first started. But now I love it. I love the volatility in NASDAQ, so I prefer it to S&P. So I just use it as like a barometer in my analysis. Or if S&P is stronger, I'll trade it. But for the most part, I like NASDAQ. Maybe on one of these live streams, we'll get my man ICT sliding through. That'd be something, huh? All right, everyone. So that's going to be it for today. That's all I had to share. A little surgical strike here with you guys. Bread and butter. Paid the trader. And that's going to be it for today. So I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day. Until we're live next time on YouTube. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe next week. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. And it'll just be lovely. So hope you guys have a great rest of your day again. And good luck and good trading.